I'm Kristen Taylor. Welcome to Winning Retirement TV, along with Greg Taylor of Legacy Retirement Group. Today we have a really good show lined up for you. We're calling it the Spend Zone.
Oh, no, you really like that title, don't you?
Yes, I'm excited about it. I like spending. So before we start though, there's a Motley Fool survey that said that 85% of Americans waste money. Are you guilty of that? Am I guilty of that?
We're all guilty of it.
We're all guilty.
Degree.
We're all
Yes.
guilty. The top budget busters of the list are food delivered and on the go, impulse buying online, and being tempted by convenient snacks. What is that, like vending machines maybe, or quick trips to McDonald's for Diet Cokes?
Or you go to the gas station to fill up the car, and you go in and you get a bottle of water or a Diet Coke, and it costs you $5, you know, where you could get a whole case of it at the grocery store for that much. So,
yeah,
yes.
Or you get those crackers whenever you stop at it, which is weird.
Butter,
You're supposed to get
those
candy.
cheese crackers with peanut butter inside. Yes, I don't know why I like that, and I only get it when I go to gas stations.
Yeah, you do. So now with retirement.
What about Amazon though?
Oh yeah, well we're not going to talk about Amazon. I don't waste any money on Amazon.
No, not at all.
late night buying online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what fun or maybe unexpected things do Ohio retirees waste money on? I'll say it in quotes because it's not always wasting
I don't call
money.
it a waste, but we have a lot of people that love golf here. I mean, a lot of clients that I get to get out every once in a while with them and play golf with them. And unfortunately, most of them are better than I because they play more often. But golf, or we have some people that have an RV.
But that's like a
boats.
normal expense, right?
I don't know, RV, boats, are those normal expenses? I don't know.
Yeah.
Traveling, you know, and enjoying that, or, you know, just activities with family. It's all things that I don't call it a waste, but it is something that we do for enjoyment, entertainment. That isn't a necessity, but something we want to do. Well,
you know, you mentioned golf, and I would say a lot of our clients golf, and that gets really expensive.
Well, it can if you play often.
So the main focus today is talking about the spend zone. So how is that different from the retirement red zone? I would say that's the line inching up to the retirement red zone, right? The spend zone, where you're trying to really figure out what you're spending.
I would say the red zone is leading up to the spend zone.
Okay, so the opposite of what I was thinking.
Yes. So
go figure, we're not agreeing on something, right?
We do. But what I mean by the red zone is when you're within 5 years of retirement. You know, in football, that would be at the 20-yard line going towards the opponent's goal line. And so our goal line is to not have to work. Now, for many anyway. We have some that want to work as long as they possibly can, but the majority want to know at some point, if they choose to not work, they can choose so, and that they can continue to maintain their lifestyle. This is a big deal. So what do we need? Well, first of all, when we're trying to figure out whether or not we can or will be able to retire, is we need to figure out, okay, what is our needs and what are our wants? We have to separate those and figure out, okay, what is my absolute minimum budget I need just to pay the bills and meet all the minimum requirements, you know, buy food, those kind of things. And then the extras we want to do, like RV, boats. We have a few families with boats on Lake Erie, and they love all that stuff. But you know, that is more discretionary spending.
Right.
So separate those, figure out, okay, how does that fit into our I hate to use this word, budget.
Right.
And making all that work together. So what can people afford? It's really interesting. In most cases, the people that call in from the show and come in and we do, you know, an overview, they're really able to maintain what it is they've set out to accomplish, which is to maintain their lifestyle. But we have a few that I'll say, you know what, you better work a little longer. Had a family come in last year, and they said, you know, they were in their late 50s. We want to retire within a year at age 60. And I looked at what they had saved. I looked at what their lifestyle was. They both had six-figure incomes. They were used to living on about $10,000 a month. But what they had saved wouldn't support that $10,000 per month lifestyle. I said, you have a choice. I said, you could retire in a year and reduce your lifestyle, or you could retire in 6 years and maintain your lifestyle. Which would you prefer to do? You could do either. So it does become a matter of, okay, what can I afford? Another one is plan for healthcare expenses.
Oh, that's a big one.
It is.
And I mean, of course, we all have to have health insurance, or we should have health insurance, right? Because you've got the normal expenses. But really planning for the unknown in that area is paramount, and having a successful retirement and not letting it deplete your savings.
Yes. Another one, this sounds like it's just, a no-brainer, but sometimes people overlook this, and that's accounting for taxes. So in other words, if you're pulling out, if you need to pull out of your investment $60,000 a year, so you need $60,000 a year. Well, if you want to net 60,000, you're probably going to need to pull out 70. So after your taxes, you can then go ahead and net $60,000 per year. And so that has to be built into the income plan.
It does. And everything we're talking about, I feel like it sounds so rudimentary, to you watching. You may be thinking, I know how to budget. I've budgeted since I was in high school. But it's so different, because when we sit down with families and have these conversations, I mean, how many times have we sat down with a family and they give us their budget, what they spend and then what they make. And that number is a big difference. I mean, sometimes there's $30,000, $40,000 left over, and we're looking at all of our paperwork and saying, okay, where's the rest?
Yes.
Well, what do you mean, where's the rest? Well, you're not saving as much as what we're hearing is left over. So where are those dollars going? And then, I spend $10,000 a year on vacation. I didn't put that down. Or, I spend $2,000 a month on this, or we never cook. We eat out every night. And so we start really filling out what the actual budget numbers are and see, okay, here's the real number. And it's so important, because we need to know what to replace as far as income goes in retirement, right?
Yes. And for people that are a few years out from retirement, if you're thinking about, how do I calculate all this? Well, one way is to have a credit card where you charge everything that you spend that you possibly can on that card, pay it off every month, don't pay interest, but then you'll be able to keep track better of what you actually spend every single month. And that gives you a clearer picture of what you need.
I'm such a big fan, and I know you don't do this. I do our personal budgeting for our family, but I love Quicken and QuickBooks. And that's one area where I do it. But another way to really keep track is right on our website, we have something called the My Retirement Kit.
Yes.
And Greg's done an awesome job with this resource. And it's not rocket science, but it gives you an idea of the lay of the land of what we're looking for as we try to work out what your budget might be through the retirement years. You just go to legacyretirementgroup.com and click on the Tools drop-down menu and select Request My Retirement Kit. It's that easy. And as you're going through the exercise of filling out the information, there's places to put important information, there's places to put your income sources, places to put all your expenses. It sometimes helps you think through the things you may forget.
Do you think even I could figure it out?
I think you could figure it out.
Wow.
It's not quick, and it's
easy.
not software you have to do. It's just a worksheet. And as you're doing those things, you're able to really get a feel for what you're going to need throughout your retirement years. So you just go to our website, legacyretirementgroup.com, click on Tools, and request a My Retirement Kit. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Have you visited legacyretirementgroup.com lately? Not only can you easily schedule an appointment by clicking on Schedule Now, you can visit the Tools section and request a free copy of Legacy's My Retirement Kit. Simply fill in your email address and a few other details. Then check your email and you'll find a 10-page retirement kit in your inbox that can help you become better organized. Legacy's My Retirement Kit is designed to help you take a personal inventory and assign realistic values to your assets for what lies ahead. It's a key first step towards creating a true financial plan for your future. And you can do it for free at home right now. To be clear, this does not take the place of a retirement plan or estate plan, but it will help you get organized for the future of your retirement. Visit legacyretirementgroup.com and click on Tools to request your My Retirement Kit today. That's legacyretirementgroup.com.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. I'm Kristen Taylor, and today we're talking all about the retirement spend zone. So I don't know about you, but I think in our household, the biggest wasteful expense are subscription services. I don't think I could even count them up. I mean, I could, I have them all expensed, but You know, wouldn't you agree, Greg? I think that's what we struggle with the most. You're the biggest culprit there, I think.
Me?
You
Come
are.
on.
You are. But
I have this one called Muscle Booster. Is it working?
I don't know. Pull them out. Let's see.
All right.
Roll up
Sorry,
your
these
sleeves.
guns aren't registered yet.
No, you know, I actually have a bone to pick with you. So it's been several episodes back, but you mentioned that when I'm doing my yoga moves, like you downplayed my weightlifting so heavy on that show. So I have to wear something sleeveless so that I can show I do more than
But I
yoga.
like those moves.
Anyway, so these subscription services, the costs are creeping up. I don't know if you realize this, but stuff you
Yes.
signed up for several years back costs way more than it does now. And one thing I'm thinking of is Netflix. That's one you don't care about. The kids watched a show. I don't even remember what it was. There was some series they wanted to watch
Right.
on there. And so I downloaded it. And then the cost I think the cost doubled over the course of a couple years. And so I got mad and canceled it. And they begged me to bring it back. So I brought it back on the cheapest possible per month subscription.
Yes.
But, you know, I think a lot of us today notice that as we buy things or subscription services, the costs are creeping up. And what else in retirement feels like that? I mean, there's something I'm bringing to mind, but I don't know if you're on the same token as I am with that.
Well, what just came to mind was Cameron recently told us about one he signed up for that was free.
I don't remember this. I think he told you, not me.
For 30 days.
Oh, yes. Well,
Watch out for the ones that are free, folks, because it's typically, if you look at the fine print, they're only free for a short time, and then you have to start paying, and that happens, I mean,
so
many times.
You're calling Cameron out, but you're just as bad with that. I don't know how many times I've had to grab your phone and cancel a service
How you
because
gonna
you
bust me
signed
out
up.
on TV
Yeah,
like
no,
this?
it's
Come on.
don't pick on my Cameron. He's the middle child. He gets picked on enough.
So we all have to be careful, though.
Yes, we do. But I was thinking
Sometimes
of
we just forget about them, and that's where, you know, when your wife comes and grabs your phone and
I
says,
do.
okay, here, let's see if you've got anything you're paying for.
Gestapo.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
So
But-
but what I'm thinking of is taxes. I feel like taxes are kind of like subscriptions because they creep up on us. They start small,
Oh,
they
my
get
goodness.
bigger. I mean, I feel like that's a perfect example of what taxes do to us in retirement.
And, you know, we've been conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
We've been conditioned from the time we first start working. Look, you can put money in this account and it's going to save on taxes.
Right.
But think about it, when you're first working, you're probably not in a super high tax bracket, maybe 10%, maybe 12% tax bracket. And so you're only saving 10 or 12%, and you're delaying that tax. And that's what we've been conditioned to do, is delay our taxes. Now, for some, I mean, we have some higher net worth and high income families that we work with that are in the 37% tax bracket. And I'm okay if you're in that very, very highest tax bracket, if you delay it till later, because there is a good possibility that in retirement, you'll be in that 22 or 24% bracket. But for those in the 12% or 22 or even 24% brackets, it doesn't make a lot of sense to delay our tax till later. And here's the issue. Now we're not really with the big, beautiful bill and the Trump tax cuts being made permanent. We're not as worried about, in the near future, tax rates increasing.
Right. They still may increase it.
They can if there's a change of administration. There's anything could happen, and I wouldn't say they're permanent, but
That's
in the
what
near
they're called.
future,
Right.
they're permanent, right?
Right.
And so, if you're age 60 right now, and let's just say that you've saved $500,000 in a tax-deferred IRA or 401k or 403b or any of those qualified plans, you know, deferred comp, whatever. And if you were to transition that over or convert it over into a Roth at this point, and you were to pay 22% on each conversion as you converted it, that would cost you $110,000 to convert $500,000. Now, you couldn't do it all at once at that rate, but you could do it over a matter of a few years. So you pay $110,000 in tax. If you say, you know, Greg, this just isn't for me. I'm not sure that I really want to convert. You know, I'm not sure, you know, if tax rates are the same, does it really even matter? Well, let's look. Let's just say at age 70, now you're getting close to required minimum distribution age, that because you invested well and you did well, then the market complied that you now have $1 million in that tax deferred account because of growth over 10 years.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now if we want to take that money out or if we want to convert it, it's going to cost us $220,000 if we're able to do it at the same tax rate.
Right.
So it's not always about the tax rate, but it is, okay, what makes the most sense for the long term? And, we have a wonderful program that we use in the office. Well, people can go to, easily just to get a picture of what their tax bill might be at required minimum distributions. That's testmyretirement.com.
Right.
We use that a lot.
Right.
Okay. But beyond that, that's just the introduction. Then once you get the idea what the tax bill can be, now it's time to find out, okay, what could my game plan be? Could there be a personalized game plan for my family to reduce the cost? Just like you grab my phone, you take it, you say, okay, Greg, are you using this? Nope. And you're using that. We all of a sudden become more efficient because you took the time to see, okay, what are we overlooking here?
Right.
And if you take the time to say, okay, what am I overlooking when it comes to taxes? What am I overlooking in my 401k, in my 403b, in my TSP, in my IRA? What am I overlooking? Is there a possibility, or could there be a way that I could reduce my tax burden over my lifetime and actually come out on the better end of this? And there is.
So this is a different process than just the Test My Retirement website.
Yes, the Test My Retirement just gives you a glimpse of what the issue can be. But what we're able to do in office, where we create that personalized Roth conversion report, where they're able to see, okay, which is better over my lifetime? Do I just take Uncle Sam's plan, the required minimum distributions? Do I have a Roth conversion plan? Or there's a third plan where you just take out consistently a larger amount than what's required. And even that can sometimes reduce your tax burden by about half. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's so amazing.
It really is. So don't overlook that when it comes to our tax bill. And then there's some other tax things like IRMA tax that can happen with required distributions. That's extra tax on your Medicare. The taxes on Roth conversions, we factor that in because that does reduce the overall portfolio for a while until it grows back. And capital gains versus ordinary income. We had a family come in, they had almost $3 million. And they had almost $2 million in IRAs and about $1 million in non-qualified or after-tax assets. Their advisor had them taking the income they needed out of the after-tax and letting the IRA grow. And you say, well, what's the problem with that? Well, the after-tax money, as it grows, they can pull out with capital gains tax rates, which are lower for them than ordinary income. And whatever that grows to when they pass away will go to their heirs tax-free. It'll get a step up in basis. Whereas the IRA, as it gets bigger, it just creates a bigger tax burden. So we immediately changed everything. We changed how they were getting income. We changed the portfolio. We were able to make a lot of changes that put them in a better tax situation as well as a better growth situation.
Today, we're talking all about the spend zone in retirement, and taxes are a big line item when it comes to the retirement spend zone. We talked a little bit about the Test My Retirement site. Super easy. You just go to testmyretirement.com, you click on Learn More, put in a few pieces of information, and right away you'll have a report that gives you a lay of the land, if you will, as to what your tax situation could be in retirement, and helps you move towards more efficiency. You're also able to call our office at 614-336-7660 to claim your spot for that Roth conversion report that Greg was talking about that's a little bit more personal to your family and your situation. We'll be right back after this short commercial break.
Have you been wondering if a Roth conversion is a good idea? Do you feel a lack of confidence in Washington when it comes to future taxes during your retirement years? You should probably visit testmyretirement.com. It's Legacy Retirement Group's latest no-cost resource for soon-to-be and current retirees. Testmyretirement.com is super simple to navigate. After clicking on Learn More, you'll fill in a few pieces of information, and within 30 seconds, you'll see a personalized analysis of your total potential taxes in retirement using your existing approach, compared to what's possible with some adjustments. Every situation is different, But if you don't want to be in debt to Uncle Sam, go to testmyretirement.com to find out if you can possibly reduce your future retirement obligations. Get started now at testmyretirement.com.
Welcome back to Winning Retirement TV. I'm Kristen Taylor, and today we're talking all about the retirement spend zone. You know, I read an article that said that being frugal is the new cool thing to do. So according to Chime, 61% of people say it's less tacky now than it was 10 years ago. But what does being frugal really mean? What do you think that really means? To me, I think it's really being intentional. I think that's a friendlier way of saying it,
So I
don't
have
you?
a question for you. How cool do you want to be?
Oh, well, you can be cool, and then that way I can be uncool. So I think that's the way we
I see
should
where
be.
this is going. Yeah. Well, when I think there can be two sides to frugal. One can be cheap.
Okay.
You know, and when I think of cheap, I think of, okay, I'm not getting necessarily the quality I want, but I'm buying the cheapest thing.
Right.
You know, some things we buy online aren't necessarily the best quality, but we get them in an inexpensive way. You know, and sometimes some of the boxes that show up at our house, I look at, I'm like, really?
You did that the other day. I was talking about this really cool new Stanley cup, and you're like, Stanleys aren't even cool anymore, I heard. Like, he knows that, right? And so I'm like, yeah, but this is new, it's cool, it's pink, it's got flowers on it. And you told me I had to throw a cup away if I was getting one.
Exactly,
That was
because
so
we're
rude.
running out of cupboard space for all the cups that you collect, man. So,
I was not being frugal, right?
really, but in reality, though, frugal, I think, means we want quality at a value.
Mm.
And really, that's really, to me, what frugal means. I want something that's worth a lot, but I don't want to pay a lot for it. And we have to be cautious that when we're looking for deals in our frugality, that we don't get cheap instead of quality at a good value. Value always wins out, in my opinion. Over time, things last longer. You really get more bang for your buck when you get quality at a good price.
Right.
And that's more of a challenge. It's easy to find things that are made cheap. It's harder to find quality things at a good value. So you have to really intentionally, I would say, look for those things and make sure that's what you're getting.
That's so important. You know, I'm going to shift gears a little bit because we're talking about the spend zone in retirement. And I think we'd be amiss to not talk about healthcare and that being such a big area of retirement. And this is a sad statistic. It says that 7 million Americans over 65 are now living with Alzheimer's. It's the highest number that's ever been recorded in Alzheimer's history.
Yes.
And, you know, we've unfortunately dealt with, you know, clients and close family members, friends, church friends that have dealt with this within their families of one spouse or the other. But it also said unpaid caregivers of Alzheimer's provided more than 19 billion hours and $413 billion. That is just an insane statistic.
It is. And I'm thinking of so many families that we've had the privilege of working with. I'm thinking of one family, his wife started needing care when she was still in her late 50s.
So sad.
And he cared for her at home for so many years until he just couldn't any longer. And it was taking its toll on him mentally, emotionally, and physically. But there are some resources out there. There's something called respite care that gives you a break every so often. So, and that is done through typically your county or your city, and you can go and see what respite care availabilities there are and take advantage of that. I think it's important that we start to really reach out to family and friends so we can get a break.
Yes.
And have some mental break here, because that's such a taxing thing.
Right.
And then thirdly, being able to get extra income so we can hire somebody. We currently have 3 families as we speak that are getting what's called an income doubler on their lifetime income plan.
Well, I'm glad you're bringing that up, because I was going to ask you, you know, besides stashing a lot of cash, how do we account for that area of the spend zone in retirement?
Well, you know, planning ahead is always best. It really is. I mean, whenever we plan ahead, we have better options. And so many times people just don't want to really address the possibility of the health concern.
Well, who wants to?
Right.
I mean, it's reality, but we all know that time is our most precious commodity, right?
It is.
And we know that there's a possibility that we're going to have a health crisis. But when we start to plan for it and really look at the amount of money we need to set aside for that, it makes it real.
It does. And procrastination can really get the best of us if we allow ourselves to keep putting it off. And there's 3 critical mistakes to avoid, I think.
Okay.
Number one, thinking there's only one solution. So many people have looked into long-term care insurance. They see how expensive it is.
It's a car payment.
It is,
Yeah.
or more. And
Right.
it continually goes up. So, but that is not the only solution. There's life insurance that will prepay the death benefit for long-term care, and the premiums are consistent, and if you don't use it, you don't lose it. There are hybrid contracts that will leverage your money, so that, for instance, we have someone that just signed up for one, put $200,000 in, have over $600,000 for long-term care now, and if they don't use it, the 200 plus all the interest it earns over their lifetime goes to the beneficiaries. There's income doublers that I just alluded to. Your lifetime income can double for up to 5 years for assisted living, nursing home, or home health care. So those are ways people can address long-term care. Mistake number 2, thinking that you are the exception. Now, I hope you are, but we can't count on that. We need to plan ahead. We need to be prepared for if that tragedy with healthcare happens in our lifetime. And thirdly, just not having a plan. And in everything when it comes to the 5 core areas, our investments, our income, taxes, healthcare, and whatever we leave behind in our legacy plan, having a plan is most important. Because once you have that, now you can feel like you have the confidence to proceed into retirement.
That's so good. Thank you so much. Thank you to our viewers at home for joining us for another episode of Winning Retirement TV. As you move forward towards those retirement years, the retirement red zone and the spend zone, it's important to start being efficient in all areas of your retirement. You can reach out to our office at 614-336-7660 or go to our website and click Schedule Now for more information. As you move forward towards those retirement years, make sure you're as efficient as possible in all areas of your retirement. Thanks again for joining us on Winning Retirement TV.